Excited.
Hey guys, welcome to Project Metal Music's YouTube channel with your host El Young, and we are here with Sirakh. Hope I pronounced that right. Welcome guys.
Thank you.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here or here.
Yeah. Could you tell the audience who you are and what you do within the band?
So I'm the lead singer of the band. My name is Yolanda, and yeah, I guess that's my
And I play lead guitar, and I'm basically the main Nazi of the group.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're also the songwriter of the group. Like you're writing the songs for us and composing them mainly.
Not necessarily or up for debate because there are a few songs other members have contributed to on the
Right.
album too,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I just do the main load of the work, mostly because nobody else wants to do it. So somebody has to write it.
Somebody has to do it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into some of the questions. As kids, what were you listening to?
You want to start?
Sure. I was well, I'm still very much of a pop music fan. So my favorite, well, when I was very little, my favorite was Britney Spears.
I have no
And
idea.
still to this day, my favorite is Michael Jackson. Um,
Understandable.
yeah, but I don't know. In my family, we've been quite open for all kind of music, so I've been very much encouraged to listen different kind of genres and everything. So I'd say, yeah, I've been influenced by many different bands like Depeche Mode, Queen, who else? Elvis. Those are maybe the biggest ones that have been inspired to me as a kid. Yeah.
Um, when I was 4 or 5 years old, "Raised by Romance" by Him came out, which was a massive hit in Finland. My mom bought the record, and I still remember to date the heavy guitars that were on the album. I was like, "What the fuck is this noise?" Like, can you cuss on this show, by the way?
Yes. Yes, you can.
Yeah, thank you. I'm like, what the fuck is this noise? I love it. How can I like do this myself? And I didn't start playing at 5 yet, but I was like really into heavy music ever since I was a little kid. And when I was 8, I got my first guitar, and I started like noodling and playing a bit, but it still didn't like the music bug didn't still bite me completely. There was this huge rapper called Pitbull in Finland, of whom I was a big fan for a brief time. Then when I was like 10, I guess I returned to actual music, and uh, at 11 I started to really take the guitar thing seriously, and I started playing. I might be lying, but like at worst 9 hours a day for a while. Nowadays, I don't play that much anymore because the virtuosity thing isn't for me. But like I really wanted to be the best player in the world. Like I was really inspired by, and still am really inspired by guys like Linde of Him. Who is a very underrated guitar player, mind you. He is an excellent player, and Jimi Hendrix and Levi, like that. So yeah, basically, I grew up in a very musical household. My mother used to be really into like playing any instrument she could get her hands on, and my dad is a music producer, so you know, records were always on and stuff like that. It's it's easier to say when music has not been in my life, and I
Yeah.
apologize for this very long-winded answer, but
Yeah, it's all right.
it's I just told the story of my life.
Who got you into music? Was it a family member, a friend, or was it completely on your own type of thing?
want to start?
No,
No. Should I start?
you're the singer. You start.
I mean, well,
You're the interesting one.
oh, for me, well, it's a very tough one. I feel like I wasn't really pushed towards music. Like I just kind of like decided myself at some point, like, no, this is really what I want to do. So then I just kind of went for it. But after that, my maybe biggest supporter has been my sister, and she's been definitely well pushing me forward, and she's like rooting for me and being like, yeah, your music is amazing, and yeah, go for it. If this is really what you want, you should do it, and all that. So yeah, I think maybe she's
Is your sister any musical, like at all?
yeah, she likes to sing as well. Yeah.
But not like
Um,
professionally or anything like
no, no, no.
that.
She's working as a car mechanic. I think that's the title found next to her. Yeah. So yeah,
Fascinating.
cool.
I wasn't being sarcastic. It was genuinely fascinating.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, you can continue.
Uh, well, I think I already covered most of this question earlier. I don't know. I mean, I've always loved music. We've always had music in the house. It's a very organic thing for me to love and cherish. Yeah, you know the story already.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That was short and
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, I try to limit myself
Yeah.
because I don't want
Who inspired you to become a musician to actually say pick up the guitar or to sing? Was it like a specific musician or a specific band type of thing?
Mm, this is a very tough one, I think. Um, One of the biggest inspirations was actually one of my friends. He started publishing his own music and like performing on gigs and stuff. And then I don't know. I think that kind of inspired me. Like, hey, everybody can do that. Like, I should do that too because that's what I want to do. And yeah, I think that's yeah. For me, that's that. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
That was your reply, right? Yeah. Who inspired me? Well, the aforementioned Linda of him. I I've been following his playing like pedantly, very pedantly, or what's a better word for that? Anyway, I mean like paying really attention to his like phrasing and stuff like that. And some people might actually say that I'm a poor man's version of him because I'm less technical and less theoretically capable, but I play very similarly. And uh, he's easily my biggest hero when it comes to like music. And, um,
Yeah.
this is my official shout out. um, also, I love I love like really like these technical superhero guitar players. Like Steve Vai, like I mentioned, for example, is a huge influence for me. Not necessarily musically, because his style, I mean, his choices of scale, his modes aren't necessarily what I'd go for because he's more in the major a lot of the time, and I'm a minor guy, like a basic blues dude. But um, the sheer virtuosity, the perfection of his playing is what drives me forward, drives me to want to be better. Although in my own way, with my own sound, hopefully my own sound. And yeah, Hendrix, as I mentioned, I mean, he basically reinvented the whole goddamn instrument back in his day. So the sheer like ingenuity of that is something that I wish I could even dream of possessing. Yeah, I mean, but in the end, like the very end of the day, I think songwriters, good songwriters, are what like who are the most important factors of like good music or music in general. and they're often way overlooked. Like, how should I put this? For example, Michael Jackson. People only pay attention to the fact that he was a flawless singer and a flawless dancer,
Mm,
but nobody ever talks about how good a songwriter he is.
yeah.
I mean, the guy knew how to write a hook,
Yes, definitely.
and
No, I think it was a multi-talent, and yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So
but it's like his most underrated quality. I think.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Is there anybody from your family that like inspired you to become a musician? You
No,
listed kind of like all these famous musicians.
no, no. Despite coming from a very musical family, like my dad always wanted me not to.
Oh,
Like he wasn't against like having a hobby or anything, and he didn't like tell me to not choose the profession of music. But honestly, I decided to become a musician because I wasn't interested in doing anything else.
hmm, right.
Still, I'm not.
Mhm.
But, um,
Yeah.
and we have a very close working relationship with my dad, but I don't think he was like particularly like no, no,
So
no,
particular.
he is very constructive,
Oh,
especially nowadays. He's a big mentor of mine when it comes to the business side of things.
yeah, that's good
But
then.
he wasn't like thrilled when he found out that hey, I want to do this too.
Yeah,
He was more like, oh no, another guy who's gonna die, drunk, poor, and alone.
yeah. I wonder if my parents feel
Yeah.
like that. Oh, I'm like, oh no,
I don't think it's very good parenting to like say that yeah, you
no.
will make it in the music business. I mean, if I will ever have children, I will tell them that no, hey, it, it's a dream and it's a perfectly healthy dream and you have every right to pursue that dream, but I would suggest you to do anything else you can possibly think of in the meantime. For example, prostitution.
No,
It's a better source of income and a very similar business.
horrible. No, no, that's a bad parenting advice. Anybody who's watching this, don't take that. Don't take that advice.
Maybe yeah, this was my reply. I
Yeah,
will
maybe
finish here.
maybe we'll move on to the next.
Anyway, quickly moving on. Uh, what band were you in before Sirakh, if any?
Well,
This should be interesting.
yeah, you don't even know, but no, actually, I had a very long break from music. The first band I was in was um in school, and it was like when I was about 15 years old. And then after that, I started studying another industry completely and working in that industry and just doing other stuff in general, like just not focusing on music that much. And maybe 10 years later, like when I was 25, I started thinking about music more as a profession and actually going for studies that would improve my skills and stuff.
Disappointing
Um,
mom and dad.
yeah, that was my goal. I was like, okay, so I decided like that. No, but yeah. So where was I going with this? Yeah. Then with my studies, I've been in multiple different bands, but they've been like with school bands and so on. So Sirakh is actually the first band I am in now after the 10-year break. So yeah,
Ooh,
so yeah,
sorry about that.
it's okay. Um, yeah, so maybe you want to tell your story about your
Alright,
bands.
well, my first band was formed when I was 12. Um, the latest name, I will not tell you the prior names because they're downright embarrassing, but the final name we had was In the End There's Nothing. It was this like kind of like a goth punk thing. And We played sporadically from 2007 to 2011, and then we broke up. And then I joined this new band, like a progressive arty thing called Aviator, which we did my first EP in 2011, late 2011. We never released it, but I released two instrumentals off that EP solo in 2014 under Nikki Suicide moniker. If you must hear them, they're terrible. I warn you, they're terrible. But well, you asked, and uh, we reformed in the end. There's nothing in 2013. I think we played for 2 years and broke up on World Goth Day 2015 for the one final ultimate time. And it was this fun little punk thing. I was all the songs were about how would I kill everyone and myself with them, and like basically like just like this 15-year-old boy's angst. Uh, and It was a learning experience. I mean, I'm not necessarily too proud of the childish music or anything like that, but I am proud of the people I've met and the memories I've made. And I started young, so you, I don't know. It's There have been some other short-lived bands as well, but honestly, I can't remember anymore. I've been in quite a few, but those two were the most important ones. Oh yeah, and then there was. Oh yeah, I did mention Avatar. Yeah, so three, oh, two, three. No, oh fuck.
Quick math. I
we,
think
we
you
formed
mentioned.
we formed Sirakh in 2013. Or I'm actually not an original member, and we don't have a single original member in the band left anymore. I joined in 2013. I was the only one with prior experience from bands, and I had decided that this is my first serious band. We will not fuck around anymore. So I took charge of it very fast, and we made two singles. The original "Eat an Empire," which is terrible. Do not listen to it. It's shit. It's I'm honestly ashamed of that one. Then the original "Early Grave," which is fine. And we broke up in 2015 because the guys just, I mean, they're lovely guys. I mean, good terms with each and every one of them. And every time I see them somewhere, we talk for a long time, but they just weren't musicians, at the very end. They went on doing other things. One became a chef, one became a writer, and yada yada yada. And we were on a hiatus for almost a year. But then the original single started streaming, like not like not huge numbers, but like thousands per month, something like that, which was like something we could not participate. So I called the then singer or screamer. I said, hey, you gotta come visit. There's something I need to tell you. He came and I showed him the Spotify numbers, and he was like, "What the fuck's going on? We haven't marketed this thing at all." I said, "Yeah, you're right. So this thing is going somewhere. It has potential. We got to continue." And then he agreed, but I think I said that on the condition that I decide who joins the band because I know previous guys, and I contacted guys from Aviator. And luckily, both of them, agreed to join. Uh, Dimitri, the drummer, is still with us, and the then bass player Vlad left because it's not like his music necessarily. But he's one of my very best friends personally, so there's no hard feelings or anything like that. It was an amicable split, and we've been doing this basically ever since, like 2015 up until now, and I need a break. Next question, please. I'm running out of air.
Yeah. What has the band been up to, especially over the last couple of years?
I think this is
It is a
for
me
you, maybe.
question.
I'm kind of a newbie still in this band. Like, we've known each other for like half a year now,
Something like that.
something like
Maybe
that.
maybe a bit longer. I said 9 months, maybe.
No, for sure not that long. Like,
No, wait. I mean, I think you joined before Christmas.
we started like communicating before Christmas. Then we had like a
Like,
small cover project, but then I actually joined Sirakh maybe.
well, I mean, how you want to put it, because the cover was put under Sirakh moniker.
Yeah.
So basically, it was a Sirakh project too.
Oh yeah.
Nobody's heard of it. I mean, it's on our YouTube channel, but nobody's ever listened to it. I mean,
Right.
everybody ignored it. It was like a lullaby by The Cure.
Yeah.
It was this Christmas thing.
Yeah.
Uh, anyway, we found each other via this like Tinder for musicians kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think the app was called Bamper,
Yeah.
uh, and I liked her. I liked her sound, and the way she presented herself, and I was like, maybe she could be manipulated into joining us, and
Well,
shedding her. She could shed her you know, join this dark, mysterious cult.
yeah.
Uh, nah, but seriously, I mean, I went through a lot of like, because we had the original band had the album band had broken up a few months prior, and because of a personal, we just didn't see eye to eye anymore, especially the singer and myself. But I was looking for a new drummer, new bass player, and a new singer, and then I discovered Yolanda after like this a desperate last ditch effort dramatically, and um, I don't know, she seemed like the best candidate, because in bands the most important thing is not one's, not to undermine Yolanda's ability, but the most important thing is not your musical ability. It's how well you get along,
Yeah.
and I think we've got that decently well covered. We do argue like cats and dogs, but
Yeah, every now and then, but then
like what, a few hours ago.
yeah, literally before this interview we were arguing. Yeah, I mean, and now
we
here we are
we
laughing.
cannot
So
discuss politics. That's a definite
no,
no.
no.
But
Um,
yeah, I mean, uh, it just got too heated because I was really stressing about the record, and uh, Trench and I started to really openly argue about everything, because I was really demanding to the band. I was taking out my stress maybe a bit misguidedly to the other guys, and she took it especially hard because she's like a very like a people person, and she didn't like it one bit. So we started fighting, over the smallest things and yada yada yada. You know, I have a bit of an ego, I admit that, and I do not like it when somebody steps into the leader's position or challenges the leader. Like, it's a wolf pack. The alpha male decides, or female, whoever. The alpha decides what you do, and the others follow without question. Or there's a door, and basically that was the situation with her. She questioned once too many, and I lost it. I'm not proud of what I said. I was really rude. I was openly hostile, and I told her that, fine, if you want to leave, then leave. We won't. I do not need you. We do not need you, which was a lie. And you know, it was a bad breakup.
I guess lesson learned.
Yeah. I mean, I've told the band very openly that. I mean, leading to this, I'm lucky that I managed to find the rest of the band, and we agreed to try one more time, because the bass player is my brother, and the drummer is a very old friend from like a decade ago. So we can bury the hatchet. We can, we're adults, and now that we found a suitable singer, I vowed that I'll try my best to treat her a little bit better than I did with the last singer, because
I appreciate.
better, because because I can be extremely mean. I admit that fully and openly, and I try to limit that. But uh, being in a band is fucking hard. I don't recommend it to anybody.
Hmm. You have released the album "Crisis of Faith." Could you tell us a little bit about that?
It's for you. Yeah,
Um,
so I wasn't part of this project because I've recently just joined, but
for
yeah.
me, give me a
Yeah,
break.
yeah.
Uh,
You
Crisis
can do it.
um, what can I tell about it? I mean, it's a fucking album. We like musically or like technically.
Anything you want about it?
Well, it's been a long working process. We started writing it in 2000. Well, technically, I wrote the first song on Christ of Faith in 2011. Um,
Wow.
Tear Me to Shreds, the oldest song. Even though there's nothing left of the original version, but just by the title. I love the title and I wanted to rework something new. And the basic idea. It was in the end there's nothing song, so it was kind of punk and I wanted the punk energy and stuff like that. It's a hats off to my personal musical history as well.
Mm.
And then it's got like the typo tribute like slow part in it, and you know it was kind of an artsy song despite the fact that it's very pop and very short. But
Mm.
um then there's fuck. Yeah, we started like seriously talking about an album in 2017. We had made one EP prior to that, and we were back then we were, or at least I was, really satisfied with it. But as time has passed, we started to hear our own flaws maybe a bit more, and we wanted to write and record an album which played in our personal strengths as musicians instead of like maybe trying a little too hard. And we most of the songs were written at my good friend Tommy's place. We were like neighbors back in the day. He's nowadays the rhythm guitar player for Solution 13, and which is a local band in Oulu, Finland. It has members from Poison Black and stuff like that. But anyway, we were like discussing like as colleagues and friends that how would these songs work and stuff like that. He has helped me a lot with his opinions and stuff like that. He also offered a lot of technical assistance during the recording phase, and it was a very slow, very painful experience because we spent so much time on perfecting the demos. We were like really what's the word? Mikä on semmoinen pikkutarkka?
Like precise things
No, not
or
necessarily precise. Like pedants, a synonym for pedants. What's the
mm,
word? Anyway, like really nitpicky about the whole thing.
mm,
And like every single synth sound, every single guitar sound, every measure, every beat, it was like every tempo was like carefully constructed.
mm,
And we spent years, maybe 3 years, on perfecting the demos, so that we would know exactly what to do when we go to an expensive studio to record with expensive gear, and we would consume the least time possible.
mm.
And we recorded the album in May 2021 in 11 days, which is a very good time if you ask me. And
So do you think that it actually helped that you were so well
definitely
done with the
help. I mean,
big ones?
what do you
Yeah.
think? I mean,
Yeah, I'm just
because
asking your opinion about
because
it.
because we were so like, I mean, I wouldn't be. I'm not a detail guy at all. I'm like a big picture guy.
Right.
But the drummer is like really really, yeah, picky about like the small details. Like
Mm.
how does this synth work? How does that mix work? And stuff like that. He wanted to make it as precisely as possible,
Right.
and to give him some sort of closure. I agreed with him. So okay, fine. Let's wank with the demos. Let's do what you want, so that the actual finished product will be as good as we can possibly
Mm.
muster. And yeah, I'm extremely proud of that album because it turned out, even if I'm saying so myself, it turned out great. I mean, now this is I'm gonna get my ass beaten for this, but it crushed all local competition. Like it wasn't even a competition actually. It is a fantastic album, and whoever has any questions or any doubts or anything about that, come say that to me to my face because I know you cannot do better.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
So
a bit of an ego trip right there, but
yeah. After the release of Crisis of Faith, are you in the process of writing new material?
yes. Or we actually have the next record. Like the writing process is maybe 80 to 90% done. Like I have a few songs that still need lyrics, but the music side is pretty much finished. Then we should start, rehearsing material, and like really the annoying slow process starts again because the drummer is very pedant, as I mentioned,
Mm.
and he will not do it unless he's absolutely satisfied with the product.
Mm.
So we're gonna have to start
Yeah.
working on that. But yeah, new material has been on the horizon for a long time now. I actually started writing some of the songs on this new album uh, at the same time when I was writing Price of Faith, but I simply felt that they're too different stylistically to fit the album's overall mood. And
Mm.
or maybe I didn't like some of them back in the day. I've since reworked some of the ideas, and whatever. There was a lot of stuff, and
Do you
um,
want to reveal the mood of the new album? Or
well, yeah. I mean,
is
it's
that a secret?
it's not a secret. I mean,
Okay.
the album is, at least I personally think that it's gonna be both heavier and softer at the same time. It's gonna be like a mixture of like, I love Typo Negative, so it's like a huge doom metal thing meets like this synth pop thing. Basically, a very similar formula to Crisis of Faith, but just taking the extreme ends even further apart from one another. Maybe a bit
Mm.
more experimental than the Crisis was, because
Yeah.
Crisis of Faith was a lot about showing everyone that we mean business, and uh, well, maybe I'm gonna censor myself now, but basically it was about proving about how good we think we are and how good we hope to be, and yada yada yada. But maybe the second record is more about taking risks, I think. But
Yeah.
and it's also very
Yeah.
personal. I mean, the first album was too very personal, but this one has a bit of a existential side to it. Um, because I was going through some major health problems like 2 years ago, and I don't wish to talk about that, but the record goes through a lot of like existential dread and fear of death and stuff like that. Maybe a bit less sexual than the Crisis was.
So, any ideas on the time scale for getting into the studio to record the album and the release date? Any, if any,
I
dates
dare not.
or on otherwise?
I dare not make any promises. I wish that it would be for the next year or maybe the year after that one, but I can't make
Yeah.
any promises because I think it's better for the record that we take our time and deliver a product that's as good as we possibly can rather than rushing it. I mean, I've been rushed.
Yeah.
My dad's rushing me to release it and to finish it. he's like, you're losing your window, you're losing your window, which is true, and it's a pressure. But then again, being an artist, I hate referring to myself as an artist, but being an artist, I think it's important that you prioritize your art before business.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. I think the product that you're delivering, you need to be proud of. If you're not proud of it, it's you don't want to really like market it and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
So rather to be actually proud of the things that you're bringing, the songs and stuff, and then stand fully behind it.
yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
yeah. So, is there any sort of like tour dates for the Crisis of Faith album? Are you planning on any tours?
Well, we have one in Finland. In Oulunsalo, Finland. It's this relatively small municipality, 30 kilometers to the south of Oulu, I think. And it's at this place called a Kise Bar and Kitchen on July 16th. I've been trying to book more like domestic shows, but to be honest with you, you know, most of the clubs have ignored us completely, and the ones that have replied have said either that we're not gonna pay you anything or no. And in hindsight, there are a few gigs I should have taken, despite the fact that they're not willing to pay us because they would have been big warm up shows and good marketing. I was being impulsive and maybe I didn't think far enough, and it's one of my regrets right now. But I'm working on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So if all the stars align and it's financially viable, would you ever get over to the UK or over to the United States or down to South Africa or over to like Japan or Australia to
Oh,
actually do
I'd be
tours?
hooked to. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't care where it is. I mean, if it's like you said, if it's financially viable. I mean, I don't care about the money personally. If it's break even, then it's fine. But just I do not want to pay, let's say, 50,000 euros for one gig somewhere. You know, as much as I'd love to meet new people and stuff like that, it's just a suicide. I'm broken up as it is, so.
Yeah, I think we don't really want to end up in debt, so that's that's well,
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if it's an investment, I was actually discussing this with a colleague, and he gave me this advice that sometimes you need to be willing to pay 10,000 bucks for a festival gig in Germany, and I understand that. I agree with that, but those have to be far and few between enough so that it doesn't ruin us.
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
The record itself was expensive enough.
Yeah. But I think I'm speaking for all of us that we're very much interested in doing gigs somewhere else as well than in Finland. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
definitely interested in
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
That's why I mean, that's one of the reasons we do it
yeah,
because anybody who says that they don't want to be a rock star is full of shit because playing playing music to foreign audiences and blah blah blah, all those cliches, they're fun. And like a
yeah,
colleague of mine said, you would not be doing this if it wasn't fun.
yeah, definitely.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, where can people find you on their social media, like such as like Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, places like that?
The band is on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and well, those are the three most important ones, and the handle is the same everywhere. It's Sirakh Band at Sirakh Band, and usually if we're on some social media platform, it's that same handle everywhere. And
Yeah,
if not, then it will be specified on our some. Uh, Actually, I think checking out our Spotify is a good way to find out where we are because the links are there in the information page.
yeah. Yeah. Are you on any other like streaming service like iTunes or Amazon or other like streaming services?
Um, I think we're on all the streaming services that matter. I mean, I don't know where Christ of Faith can be found personally because the labels got that down. I have nothing to do with releasing that one. But back in the day when I was still taking care of the releasing business myself, I made sure that the record was one would go on all the then current platforms. So they're spread as wide as possible.
Yeah. At least on Spotify, YouTube, and
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah,
And Apple Music, for
Apple
example,
Music. Yeah, that's what I was
Tidal,
looking
Deezer,
for. Yeah.
iTunes.
Yeah. So this will probably be my last question. Um, and any advice for people who want to become a musician?
Don't. I mean,
I
honestly,
don't think that's a good advice.
honestly, if you want rational advice, don't, because it's a very financially unstable choice of profession if you do it full time. But
Yeah, I'd say don't quit your day job. Because yeah, you need the money to support your music.
yeah, I mean,
Um,
it's unfairly expensive.
yeah, but then also just do your thing.
I
I
mean,
think that's
a huge
what
shout out
matters.
to our drummer because he's actually a drummer by
He's
duh.
actually a drummer?
He's a
No
he's
way.
a doctor, a medical doctor by his like civilian profession,
Hmm.
and he's been a huge financial help to the band, especially during the Christ of Faith recording phase. And I owe him a huge chunk in both loyalty and money. And without people like that, this record could have not been made, and that's a sad fact. But
Yeah.
for example, I am completely broke. I'm currently pursuing a second job. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'm applying to a school, and I have an interview coming up in June. But I dare not to say what it is because I don't know how it'll go yet.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We'll
yeah.
keep our fingers crossed for you.
Thank you. Do not quit your day job. Yeah,
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
grandmamas and the grandpapas who say that they do have a point. Unfortunately.
Yes, yes. But also, yeah, for anybody who wants to be a musician, I'd just say something encouraging, like do your thing.
If you have the balls,
Like don't try to be someone else because that's definitely not gonna work out well for you because that thing has been made already. So just do you.
I mean, if you have the balls to do, music, or let me rephrase that. If you have the balls to actually like take the bull by the horns and face the impossible odds and yada yada yada, all those cliches, if you got the stomach for it, by all means, you
Yeah,
know, go for it. But
yeah,
it's not easy. It's not. I mean, the results are fun, but the hard labor is anything but.
yeah. I think that's actually a really good advice. Like be prepared to actually work hard and don't expect things to be just delivered to you on a golden plate
Yeah, and be
or a
willing.
silver plate, how
And
is that say?
sometimes you're being screwed over,
Yeah,
and you need to accept the fact that this is not beneficial in the short run. You need to think very, very, very far ahead. Like,
yeah,
if this will lose me this and this many hundreds of thousands of money, then maybe if it helps me reach new fans and they will return the investment in, say, 10, 20 years, you have to think unrealistically far. It's not like stock market investing or something like that.
yeah,
I mean, and I'm not saying that it's easy too, but at least it has some certain logic to it. Music business is based on a lot of like faith and luck.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, good advice. Good advice. So, guys, I
I
think that
hope
might
so.
be. Sorry.
Yeah, I hope so. That they were actually good advice.
We tried our
Yeah,
very best.
Yeah, we really do.
yeah, yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for coming on and actually doing this interview. It's been an absolute pleasure. So, thank you
Thank
so
you.
Thank you
much.
for having us. It's been a pleasure for us as well. It's been amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, so go check out the band on all their social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So all you got to do is just check them out and see what you like. See for yourselves that this band is absolutely brilliant. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
having us. It was a nice
Yeah,
surprise.
Cheers.
As I
yeah,
said, it's a rare treat.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Right.